Understanding narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder can help us understand kind of what's happening right now. The narcissist is stuck in the paranoid schizoid position of Melanie Klein's theory of object relations, as I say all the time. And that's a time in early childhood that we were all in at one point. It's just where the needs start to come into existence. Before, we were just kind of as one because our needs were being met as they arose. And now things are split into two. Needs, satisfactions. This is a time of, therefore, extremes, emotional extremes, extreme good and extreme bad. It is a binary position. Other than actually being in the womb, this is the simplest way a human being's psyche could be in. It is also a simpler time. It's a place that we were all in at one point. A place where the baby was idealizing their good experiences, their good objects, to deny the bad, and when they came into contact with those bad things, they projected. They reject them, they disavow them, they don't want anything to do with them. They see their bad objects as producing emotions that are coming from outside, not that are coming from inside, when the truth is, all emotion comes from inside. Leaving this place and growing into a person means developing complex emotions. But prior to that, empathy has to develop so that the complex emotions have something to rest on and build and grow from. As a result, a human being is supposed to develop a more and more complex and more nuanced understanding of themselves and others. All systems in the universe always go from simple to complex. They never go the other way, even if we'd really like that to be the case. Now, true pathological narcissists are stuck in this simple place, and they tempt our younger parts that are still a little bit closer to that earlier time back to this earlier time, a place of wondrous idealization and beauty and very intense fake romance, and then also extreme drama. But at the heart of it, seeing life as something that can be dealt with in all its complexity through binary decisions and choices. Long ago, in Plato's Republic, there's a conversation where Socrates is talking about how democracy thrives on freedom, even to excess, and to the point where things would get so complicated that society's roles that were clearly defined, such as man and woman, child and parent, slave and owner, I guess, things like this would become blurred to the point where people would choose a tyrant who offered them a simpler view of the world. It seems to me that tyrants are popping up all over the place and offering people a simpler view of the world around them, which is actually false. They are offering people, quite often, a binary position: male, female, man, woman, black, white, right, wrong, us, them, and people, way too many of them, that want the world to be simple again, are falling for this awful illusion, the illusion that this actually makes things better. This actually unites them. People sometimes feel that these tyrants unite them, but no, they're dividing them. They are splitting them. They are dividing us. They are tempting us en masse to return to a more simple way of understanding the world, because everything's becoming far too complex. That's why so many people are tempted to follow them. The more the complexity of the world and the complexity of our human species is shunned and attempted to be made into something that's simple, the more delusional people are becoming, and the more power is going to be held over every single one of us. How do I know this is delusion? Because it's one of the fundamental laws of the universe that things in life do not travel from complex to simple. If that appears to be the case, it is delusion. Donald Trump, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk want you to believe that it's worth investing in being able to roll back things to a simpler time so that the world can become simpler. No, it's stuffing things back into a bottle that is already at capacity, that's going to explode. I heard someone say today that in order to keep the proletariat, the masses, at bay, so they don't rise up and destroy these oligarchs, they need to have bread and circuses. And they said, and now they're going to take away the most important circus for 170 million Americans, and at a time when bread is becoming very unaffordable. Narcissists pulled us into a fantasy that is exactly the same in principle, to join them in the time that they are stuck and trapped in, to join them in the fantasy so that things could be pure and simple and beautiful, and the complexity and danger of life could be mitigated and pushed aside. And what happened to our minds? They got divided. The wonderful person, the monster, the turmoil, it became more complex. It became more harrowing too, more uncomfortable, more tumultuous, more unbearable. They don't like TikTok at all, and this is because TikTok is very, very accepting of difference and complexity, and people getting together and celebrating their differences and the things that unite them too. They prefer the division and the delusion that it tempts people into, that it appears to offer. And centrally, because this divides us and makes us easier to rule.